Well, will you look at that? Vindicated once again, boys. I was right about Dragon Rage the Veil God numbers, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Avowed, soon to be right about the Outer Worlds too, and so many other games. Man, how do I do it? How am I always right on these numbers? It's almost like the system works. Well, I'm just here to take another victory lap because I told you so. Borderlands 4 is a failure. Not too long ago, we talked about how this game, even the best circumstances, which was, by the way, 4 million sales if they're being super generous, is still effectively a financial failure. But now we're getting reports that Borderlands 4 has sold only 2.5 million copies, which is honestly low. And, well, this is exactly the lowest I said that this game can probably sell. Which is still honestly impressive that it's this low. I honestly expected when the numbers come out that in the first month it sold roughly 3 million copies. 4 if we're being super generous, but 2.5 did seem like the minimum. And well, we are here, boys. But what do you expect? Borderlands 4 has literally lost 50% of its player base in less than a week. That is bad. 33% of the players were already lost in the first 3 days. That is really bad. Good games do not do this. And well, needless to say, I told you so.
It is so sad that so many studios out there think it is acceptable to launch a game in a buggy and broken state, and now it looks like they're starting to get a taste of their own medicine, as sales reports suggest that Borderlands 4 sold way slower than 3. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I think this game had so many terrible things going for it. First of all, you had Randy Pitchford making extremely controversial statements, and then the technical difficulties on top of that, plus the
Randy Pitchford making extremely controversial statements is just the fact that things are bad. Again, Randy Pitchford is a bona fide moron. True. But he's not exactly a moron who just randomly goes up on a yapathon when everything is going good. No. Randy Pitchford has a history of not containing himself when things are bad. The Borderlands movie is the most recent one, and there have been other cases. So, whenever Randy Pitchford feels the need, the necessity to go out and fight with people on Twitter how his game is not shit, and that if you're unhappy, you should do a refund. Well, thank you, Randy. I will. Thank you very much. Good advice, Randy. I will now refund the game. True, big true. Dude, dude, Randy only goes off when things are bad. That's the secret to Randy's popping off and unhinged behavior. He only does it when things are bad. And well, we already knew that things are gonna be bad.
feedback and really what boiled down to backlash surrounding the story direction they went in just was a recipe for disaster. Months ago, Randy Pitchford had said, if you're a
I, by the way, don't know what the story backlash is. The story shit. I have talked about this in 2 separate videos, one for the full story and one for each character separately. The story is really bad. Like, the story is complete garbage. Borderlands 3 had an actual better main villain, not protagonist. Well, arguably also protagonist, honestly. But Borderlands 3 had a better main villain than 4. Like, what does the Timekeeper do? No one knows. What is the Timekeeper's goal? Probably keeping the vault closed. I have no fucking clue. What is the Timekeeper's motivations? I don't know. Who is the No one knows. No one knows. The Borderlands 4 main villain is just a rando guy that you don't know anything about. He has no gravity, no charisma, No, nothing. He doesn't even have good lines. When you meet him, he's acting like this. You meet him for roughly like 2 sentences or so, and then the next time you meet him, he's unhinged and is completely different. Not that that matters, honestly, but still.
Real fan, you'll find a way to spend $80 on this game, which was terrible and completely out of touch given the economic state of the world. But you also have to pair that with his statements at launch, where he was basically acting like tech support on social media and then saying, "Stop being poor."
Randy Pitchford was versed in any Indian Microsoft tech support that you would ever see.
He said you needed to get a better computer and you could only expect their game to do so much on a bad build, which is insane. And then he went into
Dude, time travelers from 2050 came and said, Randy, shut up. My computer is from 2050 in the future and it can't even properly launch Borderlands. Stop.
hey, why don't you make a game yourself? Code your own engine and show us how it's done, please.
Oh, the irony that it's not even his engine was just honestly too beautiful, in my opinion.
We will be your customers when you pull it off. The people doing it now were clearly dumb and don't know what they're doing, and all the support and recommendations in code and architecture from the world's
True, real, and based. Next time, Randy, find premium programmers and coders and game developers, not premium players. That sounds smarter.
greatest hardware companies and tech companies working with the world's greatest real-time graphics engine coders don't know what you seem to know, slash sarcasm, just not acting like a professional CEO at all whatsoever. But now, with the issues at launch that the game faced, plus with his comments, and also the backlash surrounding the story direction, it looks like
By the way, boys, put your bets when Borderlands 4 is getting their first purely gay-centric story expansion. When is that happening? Because, by the way, remember, all of the characters were supposed to be black at the start. Well, we know it. We saw them, right? And the one that is white is actually gay, by the way, if you did not know. Amon is gay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Amon players, you are canonically now a guy. 10 out of 10. I love it.
Borderlands 4 is off to a very bad start because it has sold 2.5 million copies, but this is less than half of Borderlands 3's launch sales. According to the latest newsletter written by Reese Elliott of Alina, Borderlands 4 has so far managed to sell 2 million copies, and we know that the number was updated
Jesus.
to 2.5. They further broke down the numbers for them, revealing that half of those sales have been on Steam, where the game has been drawing high concurrent player counts. If these numbers are accurate, they're a bit soft. Borderlands 3 managed to sell 5 million copies in its first 5 days, as confirmed by publisher Gearbox at the time. That means Borderlands 4 has achieved less than half of those sales in roughly the same amount of time. It's worth remembering that BL4 launched at 70 versus BL3, which launched at 60, and I do think that this is also a problem. There are so many gamers out there who will not buy at launch because it is too expensive, and I really never recommend buying a game at release unless it is...
I mean, if it's AAA, yeah, don't buy it at launch. Wait a little bit, okay? We're gonna get the Christmas 50%. Well, it's probably gonna be 30% off. There's like, I don't know, a 20-30% chance that it's gonna be 50% off. But it's, it's gonna be 50%. Well, it's gonna at least have some discount on Christmas.
like half the price, unless it's like a Silk Song or even an Expedition 33, where it's such a high level of quality and it also isn't a $70 or $80 game. But I think that it's usually smarter to just wait for a game to go on sale because that happens really quickly. It's not like it takes 2 or 3 years. Most games go on sale 3 to 4 months after launch. It says it isn't helping.
Yeah, if a AAA game fails, it's gonna go on sale very, very soon.
that Borderlands 4 has faced a rough launch. PC players, especially, have not been happy with the technical performance, citing poor optimization as a major problem. And when it released, it had launched to mostly negative reviews over this. Borderlands 4 had finally arrived, but for some, the big occasion hadn't quite gone to plan. Before launch, there were a lot of concerns regarding its potential performance, especially on PC. Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford claimed it would be unplayable on anything below minimum specs, and a promo video of Conan O'Brien's Clueless Gamer series that featured the game crashing didn't do much to alleviate fears. So, just a few hours after release, it had already managed to hit mostly negative reviews on Steam, with the vast majority of them complaining about performance issues, and it has gone up quite a bit since, but we're still not talking about it being overwhelmingly positive or anything like that. It says, though, it's even worse the further you dive into the reviews, as a lot of the positive ones also mention that there are problems with optimization, input lag, and stuttering, which are at their worst when there are a lot of enemies on screen. From these reviews, it sounds as though Borderlands 4 is in a pretty rough shape for anyone that doesn't have a super.
And again, we're just talking about performance. The reality is we're not even talking about the game balancing. I feel no one talks about the game balancing, but the people who want to play this game are saying this. This is not even detractors or whatever. Why is the camera lagging a little bit? Stupid camera. You're supposed to be... I don't remember how much I bought it for. Probably not a lot. I'm cheap. Oh, but in any case, people are not talking about the actual game balance issues. Borderlands as a game is an unbalanced fucking mess. Some classes are just way, way, way better than others in terms of literally everything. But that's what happens when your balancing is literally +5 damage and so on and so on. But yeah, some classes are borderline complete garbage compared to others. Some don't even do damage compared to others. That's how bad it is. Animations are really slow for most special attacks, so unless that special attack is really powerful, it's useless to even cast. Same thing with explosive battles most of the time. Weapons are an unbalanced fucking mess. You can find legendary weapons that are 20 levels higher than your previous gun and it deals less damage. You have sniper rifles that shoot and then obstruct your vision with the colorful fucking rainbow diarrhea spray that they produce. It is insane. It is insane. There are no excuses for this
computer to hand, and I know I have a pretty good computer. It's really new. It's a 9950X 3D, 96 gigs of RAM, 5080, and even I had problems. It says, though, you also have a couple of reviews, once again blaming Unreal Engine 5 for the issues, and while Epic says it's not the engine's fault but the developers using it, you can't blame fans for thinking it's the problem. Either way, developers should not be releasing games in the state. Studios should not be releasing products half-assed like this. They should be taking the extra time to deliver a high-quality experience, because I actually think that the Borderlands 4 combat is pretty fun, and I like quite a bit of the level design, and I don't think that it is the worst game I've...
Well, for a Borderlands game, the shooting is at the best it has ever been, but the game's still a lot of slop. The game itself is not that fun. Again, Dragon's Dogma 2. 5 FPS in the city? No problem, Chief. Everyone played it no matter what. Yeah, sure, it's not cool to have 5 FPS in the city, but at the same time, the game was good. People played it. No one cared. Borderlands 4? No, because the game is not that good. The reality is, obviously, we should always strive for bigger, better, more optimized games and whatnot, but the reality of the situation is, I and a lot of other people, the majority of people, are willing to forgive a lot of things for a game as long as it's fun and good enough. If Borderlands 4... Listen, I played Tainted Grail, right? When it came out, it wasn't optimized. There were stuttering, lag issues, and things like that. And, well, you know, memory leak, the game starts lagging for no reason every, 1 hour until a patch came. I'm just gonna... the game's good, so I'm just gonna close the game and open it and keep playing. Sure, it's annoying, but at the end of the day, the game's good enough, so I will do it happily just to play it. Borderlands 4 doesn't get this excuse. It doesn't get this luxury. A good game can make people forget that there's technical issues. That's just the reality of life.
I've ever played, but with the technical difficulties, it just severely damaged my image of this game, and a lot of other people agree. And honestly, I'm glad to see that this game isn't selling as well as they expected, with the way that Randy Pitchford has acted, with the way that they thought they could get away with launching a game buggy and broken like that.
They all think that they can get away with launching a game buggy and brokey. Freudian slip. In any case, boys, remember, like the video, and if you're on a mobile device, hype the video. It takes less than a second, and I'm greatly appreciative of it. It truly helps me out, and it makes me happy, and, well, it's a small thing. And if you think these things are important, like saying Borderlands 4 bad, then yeah, like the video and hype it up, because it's gonna allow people, more people to see it. I can guarantee you, if you want more people to know about these things, know about the situation and whatnot, liking the video is the best way to guarantee that more people will know. Thank you in advance, by the way. I love you. And, well, that was very dark. 10 out of 10. Bye.